Wouldn't it be cool to have a shorthand way to write something that only you could read? And this is the idea behind TagCode. So I've been asked by a lot of people, what is this thing? I think people are looking at it and they're thinking, is this like an app? Is it like something to do with computers and encoding and all of that? And a lot of the words I've been using around TagCode are sort of computery sort of words like encoding. But no, it's a way to write. So what you can do is you can take anything written in English and you can encode it with your brain and a pen and paper, and you can write it in a way that no one else will be able to understand, or not without some serious time. And to be honest, so far no one's been able to understand it before they've been taught it. And the other thing about it, the reason I wanted to create it, and the thing that led to creating it in the first place, because it was kind of an accident, was creating a shorthand. So a shorthand is it's a long established thing. It's been around for ages. There are many types of shorthand, and they're just a way to take notes very quickly. So in courts and things like this, they use shorthand a lot. So it's a way to write where you can write a lot down very fast, and then you have to kind of decode it a little bit later because you use a series of symbols that aren't words or letters as such. It's meaning based. Now this is a shorthand not in that it's really, really quick to write. It's not quick to write, but what it does do is it condenses the information into a smaller space, or into a fewer number of characters at least. And so in that respect it's a shorthand. So I thought what I'd do is first of all explain what TagCode is. So it's a way to turn something that you've written, like a word or a phrase, into some pictures which you can read. And I wanted to explain what it was, give you a few examples, and then also talk a little bit about where it came from. Where it came from was that I was looking to invent my own shorthand, and I wanted it to look visually interesting. So I wanted it to be a nice looking language on the page, and it would be interesting and nice looking to write. And I wanted it to condense information, so I didn't want to end up with a big long string of glyphs that you have to string out to say something very simple. I wanted it to condense, and TagCode does exactly that. It works based on patterns of consonants and vowels that you find in English, and it takes advantage of that and allows you to encode what you're writing into pictures based on that principle. So one of the things I like about this as a shorthand is that it is slightly encoded. Now when I say slightly, I haven't met anyone yet who, even when they know what the tags say, what they actually mean, has been able to kind of reverse the process and work out exactly how it works. Some people have got sort of close, like they've identified certain shapes, but because of the way that it works, it's actually inherently difficult to pick apart, which I like about it. Now, the other really important thing that I was really keen, and this is why it took so long to develop, it's been a little project of mine for about 4 years. The thing I really was keen to do was to make sure that it wasn't too difficult to decode once you know the key. And that was a very difficult thing to do. Because lots of methods that I tried and lots of other codes that you can learn how to decode them, but when you come to actually do it, you have to sit there with a pen and paper and think, okay, so this means that means that, or work it out like a cipher or key or something like that. And if it's like a maths approach, you have to end up visualizing all kinds of things. I didn't want any of that. I wanted you to be able, after getting used to it a little bit, I wanted you to be able to look at a tag and immediately understand, just in a really human way, immediately understand what that writing is, but only to be able to do that once you know the key to decoding it. And the key is, if you've done the tutorials, is the read order. And if you haven't done the tutorials, you can head to the site and do them, and I'll give you the link at the end. It's actually also in the description. So the really important factor is that I wanted people to be able to get it really easily once they know that key, once they have that information, they can just read it. And in terms of writing, it's the same. You get really used to it. And the same goes for tag sign as well. So tag sign is a way to speak TagCode. So it's still English, but it's an alphabetical way to speak TagCode using your hands. And the useful bit about that is that a lot of the shapes, or almost all of the shapes really, that you make with your hands are the shapes that you see written in the tag. So it's like a prompt. Once you've learnt one, it's very quick to learn the other one. And then you can say anything. It's alphabetical, so it's not the fastest thing, but the point is you can say anything with your hands after learning it for a day, which I'm super interested in. I think that is an interesting area. Anyway, I could talk all day about that. So I'm going to give you a few examples just so if you're wondering what the hell this is, you can find out. So let's have a look. So at the base of it, this isn't going to make much sense if you haven't already done a tutorial, but at the base of it, we can take a word. Okay, I'm going to take the word free. Okay, and I'm going to encode this into a tag. This is the symbol for F. It's a symbol for R, you might recognize that one. And double E. Now, the thing about TagCode is it's not as simple as just understanding what these symbols mean. It's also about where they appear. So you have to do the tutorial and I explain it fully there. But the point is that to anyone who knows the system, means F-R-E-E. Okay? And you can do this with any word, and you can encode much longer words than this into a single tag. Okay? I'll give you another one. I'm going to draw it first this time. I'm juggling the camera at the same time as doing this, so this is a little bit balmy. Okay? What does that mean? I mean, that is an encoded symbol. If you don't know the key, it would be pretty difficult to work out what that meant just from scratch. It actually means W, O, R, L, D. And again, anyone who understands the system would be able to see that and end up with W, O, R, L, D. Okay, they would be able to understand that. And that is the gist of it. That's the whole idea, is that you can turn any word into a picture that anyone would be able to read. I get really excited about that. I think that is a really interesting concept. So for example, take a look at this. So I don't know if you've seen the series Stranger Things. I thought it was fantastic. But anyway, I printed up this t-shirt after having seen that, which we actually used in we made a fun little kind of hype film, a little trailer, to see if there's anyone out there who fancied learning a written code in 2017. Anyway, that shirt, after having seen Stranger Things, says the word Demogorgon. Now, if you've seen Stranger Things, that'll mean something to you. If you haven't, you better watch Stranger Things. But I really like the idea that I can walk around wearing that, and only a certain group of people are going to be able to decode that message. And when they do, hopefully they get a bit of a shock. Because after you've seen Stranger Things, that word means something, okay? And it's a bit of a surprise. Anyway, so that kind of thing really interests me, and that's why I wanted to create a code which you can write and you can encode a word into it, and that it doesn't take much brain power to decode once you know the key, once you get it. So, first of all, if you want to learn this, like I said, the link is in the description. Plug that into your browser and you will find this. And on this page, you have a TagCode tutorial here, which you can watch. Will tell you everything you need to know about how to read and write TagCode. And then you've got a tag sign conversion tutorial, and this is to take what you know here and allow you to do the speaking with your hands thing. Okay, and there's also here some cards, some reference cards, which again, if you want to print them out or do whatever you want with them, basically as you're learning over the first couple of days, which is pretty much all it'll take you to learn it, this might be quite useful as you get used to it. Okay, and you can, you know, just copy these or save them to your phone or whatever and take them with you. Do whatever you want to do with those. Okay, and you can also follow us and do all of that stuff as well. Okay, so tc.rptr.uk. So that is where you go if you want to learn this thing. but I'm especially interested in what you might want to do with it. So it's a system that I've come up with. It exists now. You can all go and learn it if you want to. But what really interests me, I've got my own ideas about what I might like to do with it in the future, but what really interests me is what problems it might solve for any of you guys. So whether you're using it, like in education or just for fun or for something secret or as a design thing, I'd love to see that. So that'd be really cool to know. So do get in touch and we will share stuff like that. So lots of information there. I hope that clears up some of it, including what is this? What is this thing that I'm seeing these glyphs everywhere and seeing these pictures of? I hope that explains some of it. And if you have any more questions, just drop it in the comments and I will answer those questions. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why I made it because I don't know. But anyway, I hope you are enjoying using this thing. I hope it's fun. I hope you're designing stuff and making things look cool and enjoying it. And I hope it's serving some kind of purpose. I'd be happy to hear that it was. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing and I'll catch you around and I might write you some coded messages sometime soon. Thanks for watching.